Oh, good afternoon, Carlos.
Good afternoon.
Another edition of Table Topics. Today's Tuesday, right? I thought today was Monday. I was messing up.
Well, it's because yesterday was a holiday and we didn't work.
Yeah,
so.
that's right.
So today sounds like a Monday.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's the weather too is helping.
Yeah.
Beautiful day today.
It's really nice out now.
Beautiful day.
I did before I left. I told my wife. She said something about my daughter working tomorrow, and I'm like, no, it's not her last day. It's Tuesday. She goes, no, tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm like, oh my God, that's right. You know?
So it's not the first one that reminds you that today it's Tuesday.
Yeah, I know.
Wednesday.
Other people have to do that. I know. Scary as it is.
It's Tuesday, so we are here with another show of the Table Topics, which we not sure what we're going to talk about, but I'm pretty sure that we will find something to talk about. One thing I would like to start by saying is, again, neighborhoods things going on is we will have our neighborhood meeting this week, this Wednesday.
Okay.
Because the next Wednesday we will not be here. We will be in Portugal and leaving, so we'll be leaving Sunday. And I know you already have all your
things packed
no, and everything ready to go.
No, I don't have anything done.
It's funny because I just spoke to somebody that's going
nothing.
on our group and said no, not until Saturday.
No, I don't have anything. But I mean, I did rent a car. I did reserve a car, so that's a positive. I did get the Euros, which I was kind of a little frustrated with because I went to AAA and I didn't realize till after the Euro's trading at like $1, like 95 cents.
Yeah, about.
They charged me $1.13.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, I got ripped off like by 20 cents almost. I'm like, I'm never going through them. I'm going to go through a bank next time. I think Rockland Trust does it.
You don't even have to.
Yeah.
Because what happens is, here's what I do.
Okay.
Cards, like ATM cards, they are accepted everywhere.
Okay.
So what I do is when the plane lands, I got my luggage, I go to the ATM right there at the airport.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
And I take out $100, $200, whatever I want, the change I want to keep on my pocket.
Yeah.
And that's what I use for small things. If I want to buy an ice cream or if I want to buy a coffee, so I don't have to use the card. Everything more than 20 euros, usually I use my card. One thing it's good there is the fact, and it's different from here. I don't know if you noticed this. When you go out to eat at a restaurant, the person takes off with your card.
Yeah, I don't like that. Well,
so in Portugal, they don't do that.
Oh, okay.
In Portugal, they bring you the machine to you.
Yeah.
And you put your card and you do your transaction right there, and then they take the machine away.
Yeah.
So they don't run away with your card because they don't do that. But a good thing is, and you probably noticed that, is when that machine translates you euros or dollars. Yeah. So you pick how you want to pay.
Yeah.
So usually what I do is I pay in dollars because this way I know how many dollars I'm using.
Yeah.
If I go there and I put $1,000 in cash to use there, $1,000, and I use $50 on that machine, I already know that I have 950 left instead of euros, because when I use euros, you never know how much you have left.
Yeah.
So I always use as dollars. That's how I'm going to pay anyway when I get back.
Okay.
So this way, I already know it's dollars, and I have my numbers.
All right. Yeah. No, I didn't even realize that because the only time I think I used a card was at the airport, and they asked which one you wanted to use, dollars or euros. I used euros because you know what I mean. But they were like,
but because then when you get back, they give you the translation.
Yeah.
So you said, okay, you used 50 euros there. So that's why $65 came out of your account.
Yeah.
So instead of counting with the euros, I count with the dollars.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Makes
that's
sense.
usually what I tell people.
Yeah.
I never bring too much money in my pockets. What I'm gonna, number one, I'm not gonna use the money in my pocket every day.
Yeah.
Number two, I'm gonna use it at a hotel. I don't feel comfortable leaving $1,000 in a hotel drawer.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I do is, as I need it, I go to an ATM anywhere.
Yeah.
Any ATM is going to charge you the same thing as you go to the bank.
Yeah.
So. So if I need another 100 euros, I just go into an ATM, bump, take $100, give me 95 euros, it's 95 euros. But I know I used $100.
Yeah, yeah, no, it makes sense. It's maybe the last time I really went overseas was the UK back in, I think it was 97. So when you get over there, if you cash in your money, and they used to have those all over, like say London, they charged you a fee, and their money's already worth more than ours. It used to be like $1.50. So it was like you're getting tacked on like a 30 or 40 cent charge for each dollar. So I said, never again. You know what I mean? I didn't want to go to those things. It's probably different now, but I don't know. For me, as far as the bank,
I don't think the fee, it's too expensive.
Yeah.
The only difference that you're going to find is the cambio. Which right now it's good for us because I think it's 5 or 6 cents.
in
a dollar.
Yeah,
you know, I mean it's not a big deal. But for people that never went there, people are counting and going there, that's the best thing to do. Is I enter the country with no euros on my pocket.
Okay.
I get there, I go to an ATM right at the airport. I take $100 or $200 in euros, whatever they give me, 90 euros or 95 euros or whatever. So now I know I have how much I have left on my bank if I need to go get cash again.
Yeah, makes sense.
If I don't need the cash, I always use my card, a credit card or anything. But I always added, I put the charges as dollars. So this way I have how many dollars I'm spending, not euros.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. I've always been, you know what I mean, if anything happens with my bank or anything, it's not like I can call over there. My bank would have to get involved, and it's just, I just would rather not do that. It's just like you said with cards. If I go to a restaurant, I never use a debit card at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Only because I knew 3 people that went different places in the US and they used their debit card at a restaurant, and when they got home, they had no money in the bank account because somebody had taken that. So if I go to a restaurant, I'll use a regular credit card because if anything happens, you're somewhat insured.
Yeah.
But your bank thing, like I said, I know 3 people, they took everything out of their bank account, and it was
I usually use my debit card just on these cases. Just to take money out of, to have money in my pocket. Not to charge anything. To charge a rent a car, like I rent a car and everything. If I go out to eat in a restaurant, I'm in a supermarket making grocery shopping or whatever, I use the credit card. You know, because then I'm using, and then when I get back, I got the bill, and then I get surprised.
So forth. No, it's smart.
I get surprised.
Yeah. Jesus. Oh boy.
So, but it's coming along. So it's going to be Sunday. We were talking. So you found it a little bit expensive the cards now.
Yeah, I
this
think,
time. Remember, last time we went was kind of going into the winter.
It was
fall.
I think it was a little bit more, but I mean it's to be expected.
Yeah.
I know people that have been on vacation recently in the U.S. and they're paying $1,000 for a rent-a-car they probably would have paid $300 or $400 for last year. So I mean, it's to be expected. From what I was reading, I think we have one of the highest inflation rates in the world. The European countries are well below us at like maybe 4 or 5%. We're at like 8, and I think it's even higher than that in certain things. But yeah, that was the only thing that I found. I mean, so far, I mean.
And then we're going to have to figure out if we want to do the live stream from Portugal. We need to, talk to Steve about that. Or like he said, if we could make small videos, then he can edit, and put it together in the big show.
Sounds good.
Okay, so Nationally, what's going on today, it's been going on for the past week, is the
January 6th.
The January 6th, between, you know, the trial, that looks like a trial, and the committee.
And then the voter integrity, or they call it fraud or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It is what it is. I listened to it for a bit, and then I shut it off because it's only one-sided. You just hear all the way through. And personally, I don't like how they have Adam Schiff there. He hasn't told the truth in the last 4 years. Why do they expect him? Why do they think people are going to believe him now? You know. I think that kind of hurt them.
What's going to come? What do you expect to come out of it?
I think all that's going to come out of this is that this is not. It has nothing to do with that. What's going to come out of this?
That's the only thing they're looking for.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're looking that they don't want Trump to run again. That's why they're doing this. Mainly, they're trying to taint him, and they're trying to go after. They know that there are issues coming this coming election because we have the highest inflation in 40 years. Gas prices are over $5, $7 in California. Inflation's hitting people hard. So they know they have all that bad news, you know, and if all we have to do is go back to, remember President Clinton? It's the economy's stupid. So when the economy is not doing well and people don't feel confident, you know, here in Massachusetts, it doesn't matter. I mean, Elizabeth Warren and Markey, you know what I mean? They could have devil costumes on and people would still vote for them. So we don't have any, you know, nothing's going to change here in Massachusetts.
You think Trump is going to take advantage of the wave?
Well, I mean, I don't know what other than if he runs in 2024, he can take advantage. I think if anything, if we get states like Nevada that were, you know, turning Democratic, if they turn back to Republican, I think that we're going to finally have a balance again because we haven't had a balance. We have, and I don't like it whether it's Republican or Democrat. Now we have Democratic House, and then the Senate is so close that they have to call in the vice president all the time. I'd like to see a happy medium that it's not all spend, you know what I mean, and we'll figure.
But the House could change.
Yeah, the House, I think the Senate's going to have a better chance of changing.
Yeah.
And everything has to be approved through the Senate. So I would like to see that because I don't agree with a lot of, I mean, this fixing of this inflation is not working. You know what I mean? And, you know, remember when this first started, it was, what was the term they called? And I can't remember the term, but it was like, it's transitory. Yeah, it means it's going to stop someday. It's going, it's stopping. Now they're like, oh, that was probably a bad word we used. We probably shouldn't have used transitory. Well, yeah, no kidding, because it's been going on for a year and a half. You know? So, I think that they need to get some people in there that think differently. You know what I mean? So if you have, you know, a few more Republicans in there now, they're going to have to bend. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping it does change because I just don't, you know, they've had polls. It's not only me, but there are polls on all the stations that say, do Americans believe this country's headed in the right direction? And like 75% of the people say absolutely not. So,
the only thing that I think that they're going to prove it, or else they're just going to be wasting their time with this January 6th thing is if it was legal or illegal, what happened? Yeah. So if it's legal, what happened? I don't think nobody should be charged with. Yeah. If it was illegal, like every time that you break the law and you are illegal, some people need to be punished.
Yeah. I mean, if there was wrongdoing, yes. When I listen to some of this, I have to laugh. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, they're showing people in that building, and I'm not condoning that. That shouldn't have happened. But there were people that they show that are walking in the lines. They're not being disruptive. There are people that were not going in, but there were people there that the FBI, that people admit the FBI had people there, and they were coaxing people to go in. So, and this is not the first time something like this has happened.
But let me put it this way. Okay. Even if nothing happened there, even if they didn't break windows, even if nobody got shot there, okay, let's put all that
aside. Somebody did get shot there.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Let's put it aside that somebody got shot there, that they broke windows and they broke doors, they did whatever damage they want. Let's put it aside that they were trying to target somebody, okay? Let's put all this aside. That they were supposed to be there or they were not supposed to be there.
I agree. You're not going to get any arguments with me. I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, I agree. They should have done that.
They can go through all of this and you know, and spend hours and hours and hours. The point is this. If I go into a house that I'm not supposed to be there, I'm wrong.
Yeah, I know, I agree. I think the way I look at it is this way. No, it shouldn't happen. Absolutely not. But there was someone that I saw, it was a newscast, and it might have been on CNN, that when this was happening, and said, this is what happens when you don't address things. So there was such information out there that nobody knew the truth, and nobody really addressed it. Because it was like, you know what? The Democrats won, that's all we want to hear. And the other side said, we don't think that you won. And these are the things, but it was never addressed. They said, well, let's go to court. They brought it to judges. Judges looked at it and said, I have no authority over that. So that doesn't solve the problem. All that says, and then the other side would come back and say, well, they went to a judge. The judge said, no, nobody would take it. They said they didn't have the authority. And there was a term that they would use. So to me, it's kind of like what happens in these other countries, that you see that people, after an election, they're not happy, right? What do? They go into the streets, they create havoc. This country can be no different than other countries.
Another question that I have is, and that's why they're trying to go with Trump, is if those people there because of Trump, can we prove that they were there because of Trump?
I see, now that's where I have an issue, Carlos, is that, like, you know, how can you be responsible for other people's behavior? You know, people showed up, there were 1 million people that showed up, not everybody went in there. So my thing is, he should have cooled his jets. You know what I mean? There were certain things, like today I was listening while I was at work about him calling up the Georgia guy there, and he's like, I need this many votes. Totally wrong to say that. You should have said, look, I've heard it's this, that, and the other thing. There should be, what are the votes? Don't, like, because it made it seem like I only want 13,000 votes and one over him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just, but that's how he was.
Let me put this same situation locally. Let me go on Facebook, because a lot of people know me, right? And I'm going to say, let's go meet at Kennedy Park, and we're going to walk into the city council chamber, and we're going to be very nice, talking to them very nice, but we're just going to fill up the chamber, and we're going to tell them that we don't agree with what they're doing. And now something happens. Now something happens. Should I be in charge?
I don't think you should be charged with it, because it's not, unless you said you need to go over there and, like, tear this place up. I don't think
because that's exactly the same thing that's going on. I just bought it home.
No, I agree. I don't think you should be the principal should be responsible. What I do get upset about is that if the president did know that there were bad actors in there, and other people followed, and they were, because there's this one young man, all he did was walk in there. He committed suicide. Because they said he was going to go to jail for 4 years. The kid committed suicide. He had like a master's degree. Good kid. He got riled up with the group and walked in there. So it's destroyed so many people's lives. So if people knew that were in charge of this, this protest or whatever, if they knew that there were going to be bad actors there and they didn't stop it immediately, I have an issue with them, because they've destroyed all these people's lives. That's what I get. When I look back at this, I get very upset about that, because you just taking that one young man there, he walked in. That's all he did. He walked in. They said, you're going to get 4 years. He's like, I can't go to jail. I can't. Right before they called him in, he committed suicide. This is what I mean. There are still people that are in jail there with no trial after almost a year and a half. We can't have this. And then, and that's why you see the issues in the country. Then we had a year of, or a summer of protesting where they destroyed cities. They destroyed a courthouse in Oregon. and 90% of those charges were dropped on those people. So you can't have if you're the party that's in charge, this is what happens in third world countries. Nothing happens to your people, but the other side, it does. That's what happens in third world countries. And I have an issue now with, basically, we have people protesting in the Supreme Court justices' houses. You can't do that. That's against the law. Why aren't we prosecuting that? We're not doing that. Why? And there was a threat to one of the justices. Somebody was going there to kill him. Why are we not doing that? But it's because if you don't agree with the other side, you can't use that as a weapon. So I have an issue with when they will go after Trump and say this administration could be considered doing the same thing. And it's Democrat, Republican. It's all about power. Let's face it. You know, right?
Yeah.
Even at a city level. They want power. They want absolute power. And unfortunately, absolute power corrupts absolutely. You know, I didn't make that term up. I'm just trying to sound smart today.
We have about 10 minutes. Let's bring it locally, and let's talk a little bit about the budget. Okay. I don't know if you followed the budget.
Yeah, I followed some of the things on there. I mean, we can kind of see what happened. There was only one person that voted against the budget, so I think most people were satisfied that things were funded, you know what I mean, appropriately. So I don't. That's why I didn't think we got a lot of pushback from that. And things were funded. I did see of interest today that they have the folks are testing out the body cams, the police. And one of your officers were there from your neighborhood and one from mine. They were on the front page of the Herald, or one of the pages of the Herald. They're the test people with the new body cams. So, and I think it was Officer Sylvia.
Yes,
and,
Officer Sylvia. And
Officer Tim McGann from our group there. So
I think they are the neighborhood.
Group. You know, cops. And I know Tim is very easygoing. I'm sure Officer Sylvia.
Yes.
So maybe that was good to, you know what I mean. You get it to the people that are happy-go-lucky. Not saying the others aren't, but I think they picked. And they were, you know, doing things with the neighborhoods. They have more interaction.
Another thing too is those cops are really walking the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So I mean, they can catch a lot of stuff in camera. You know,
exactly.
On camera. So I think that probably was a good move from the chief to start off the pilot program with the neighborhood cops. You know,
because I know our officer Tim McGann was smiling there. You know, the other two officers were just, but Tim was smiling. So
and we have a conversation on a neighborhood meeting with the Officer Sylvia about his opinion about the cameras, and you know, I mean, it's like everything else. You know, it's the good things and the bad things. You know, so. Yeah. Let's see what's going to happen. And
I hear you. It is with, you know, what's amazing is that, you know, what's going to happen, and I'm sure the police already know this. If the police, and I've heard this from this, if the police end up dropping an F-bomb or they're acting stupid and they say that back to them, the cops will be all, look at how they are. But you hear these people that they're dealing with that are saying all these like nasty things, and it's like, well, that's what you got to deal with. You know, and it's like, it's not fair, but unfortunately that's how it is. But maybe if people see the other side of things, which I think they are effective. I've seen things where cops are shot. So they knock on the door, somebody comes to the door, bang. And that's effective there to show this is what people are dealing with, you know? So.
Well, I think we always, like in every profession, we always have the good apples and the bad apples. We always had good cops and bad cops.
Yeah.
But what I think is going on now is people are pushing buttons.
Yeah.
These people are pushing.
Yeah.
You know, this cops to the limits that they're. You know, it's either I'm going to swear too, or he's not going to listen to me.
Yeah. I think some people, that's how. You know what I mean? People think that if people are constantly swearing at you, that's the language you got to use with them, right? I mean, there are people like that you deal with. That's what they swear all day. I mean,
it's sometimes is you have to bring to the same level.
Yeah.
So you could actually have a conversation. You're going to be swearing back and forth, but that's how you're going to have a conversation.
That's,
because
that's
what
how
else
some people,
you're not
that's
going to be able to get anything across.
But I mean, you know how you hear if you're on social media. I mean, I'm on Twitter. It's like you would see that. It's like, oh, look what he did. It's but the other one was like just cursing him out for like the last 5 minutes. I mean, come on. I mean, I understand public servants, but they're not punching bags either.
Thick skin. You have to have thick skin. If you dealing with the public, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. It's not no other way around because it's getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
As long as you're not getting hurt. You have to let things go.
Yeah.
Because what else? Like we say in Portugal, eu fico a bicicleta e levas as rodas. I keep the bike and you take the wheels. Let's see if you're going to go somewhere. That's the expression that we say because we're not getting nowhere. So guess what? I will keep the bike and take the wheels.
Just move on. Because it's not working. I get it. Like why sit there and argue with an idiot, right?
Exactly. you're going to talk back and forth for hours, and you're not gonna. So the budget was approved.
Yep.
And keeps climbing. One thing that I'm surprised is the numbers never got released. So how much is gonna the tax gonna increase, and how much the city's gonna collect in tax, especially with the new schools now and everything. So I'm amazed how you pass. To me, the city council, what the city council did was they went to the bank for a loan that they don't know how much they're gonna ask for. And they don't know how much they're going to pay for, but they got the loan.
No, I hear you. What I thought was pretty positive, though, I'm going to say one of the positive thing is that there was $3.8 million more this year in growth, and part of that was from Amazon because they're paying more. They were paying practically nothing.
Yeah, they probably off the contract already from that tip.
So they're coming. They're coming off it. It's getting better and better. So I thought that was kind of a positive thing. But I think as far as
the question is how long they're going to last now.
Well, I mean that's the thing. I'm like thinking myself. I hope to God they don't decide to leave when they're starting to pay their full share.
Because they already dried the bank.
No, you're right.
They got everything they could get it from us. So now, guess what? Now I'm going to move to another poor neighborhood community that's going to still give me free stuff, and I'm going to suck them up to for another 5 or 10 years, and then I'm going to move to another place. The only thing good about that Amazon is that we got the building. I don't know why we're going to put it there, but we got the building.
No, you're right. I mean, it's interesting, but hopefully, I was thinking the same thing.
So, and we're wrapping up for this week, and this is our last show for here at the studio until 2 weeks from now. Next week, the show will be done in Portugal. Hope you guys have a nice week, and I hope we will have a nice week up there.
Sure we will. Have a good night now.